destroyed my life? Well, my friend, I have the answer. Bible Way Hibner Memorial Church of God in Christ presents Chain Breakers, this and every Sunday at 9 a.m. here on WHYL.
From the L.B. Smith Ford Lincoln Studios, Oldies 102.9 is WHYL Carlisle.
Welcome to the Real Estate Radio Guys, your weekly source for all things real estate. We're your hosts, real estate broker John Rainville and your mortgage expert Kingsley Harmer discuss everything from mortgage rates to home staging for foreclosures and everything in between that affect the daily real estate market. Real people, real questions, real answers. Today's show is brought to you by www.pagoloan.com, your source for new mortgage loans. NMLS number 1018. EnviroQuest, trusted for home inspections and radon mitigation in Central PA for over 25 years. And brokersrealty.com, the easiest way to search for real estate in your hometown. Now, on to the show.
Good morning, everyone. It's the Real Estate Radio Guys. John Rainville from Brokers Realty. I'm a real estate broker for a little over 30 years here in Central Pennsylvania. I'm also licensed in the states of New York and Pennsylvania. New York and Maryland. How about that? PA, New York, and Maryland. My co-host, as always, is Kingsley Harmer. Kingsley, tell me a little bit about yourself this morning.
With GSF Mortgage, pagoloan.com, gophone.loan.com. Been in mortgages for over 20 years, in real estate as well, with John. And, we've been on this show now for about a year and a half. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So we've handled a lot of topics.
So in Realtor Speak, we're 2 years. Or I think we started the year before. So in Realtor Speak, we could say we're actually in our third year. Because didn't we start in 16? We did all of 17. Now it's 2018. So the way realtors talk, that would be actually in our
third year of radio. Very nice. Technically speaking, we are in our third calendar year of radio.
That's right. Correct.
Nice. Well, we just added double, the experience. That's okay.
So, hey, we've got a fantastic show lined up for you today. Our topic of our show is, how not to get soaked if you have to replace a roof. We're going to be talking with Sean Barkowski from Central Pennsylvania Roofers. And, the products have changed, folks. It's not the same old roof your grandparents had. There's a lot of new options we're going to be discussing with Sean, and he's going to be talking to you about things that you look for. And it's really, it's not just shingles and tar paper anymore. It's really a complete, what I think Sean's going to explain to you, a roofing system. I mean, a lot of the components have been changed over the years and are really doing a better job of things. We're going to be talking about regular roofing, which people consider to be shingles. We're going to be talking about metal roofing. Sean also installs solar panels on roofs, which I just find fascinating. So we're going to be talking about that. And then, so we're sort of going today, Kingsley, from foundations all the way up to roofs, because John Staz from EnviroQuest is going to be coming on in our second half hour, and he's going to be talking about foundation issues. Because right now, with the freeze, thaw, and the rains and things that will be coming in the spring, people need to be in tune with that.
Well, I would imagine this time of year that you get to notice whether or not you've got any leaks, with all the thawing and snow and everything finally,
absolutely. Hopefully
after today, finally evaporating and melting away.
I was talking with a gentleman the other day that has his basement flooded right now, and I'm actually helped him with get a contractor to come over and pump it out because he was afraid to use a pump, and plug it into the house electric. So we actually had somebody go over with a generator just
probably a safe idea.
Yeah,
how deep was the water?
Second step in the basement.
Really?
Yeah, right over close by our office. Yeah, so
really?
we got him all hooked up. So I know Sean's already on the line. Good morning, Sean. How are you doing this morning?
Good, guys. Good morning. How are you?
We're doing fantastic. To start off for our listeners, can you tell them a little bit about yourself? Tell us a little bit about your company, and your areas that you cover.
Sure.
Great.
Central PA Roofers. We're located in Camp Hill. We service about an hour radius of that. Lancaster, York, Hillsburg, Carlisle, Mechanicsburg, Halifax, the whole circle around. So about an hour, 60-mile radius of coverage. And that's for leaks, new roofs. We give free estimates on both of those situations and as you said earlier, solar.
So, Sean, how long have you been in the roofing industry?
We've been in for 30 years.
Wow, as long as I've been in real estate. So you guys actually go back to thatch roofs?
Yes, my family's been in for 30 years. Central PA Roofers was formed.
Wow.
In 2011. Yes.
Wow. I didn't realize that you guys were that old, so to speak, but that gives you guys a huge depth of experience. So you're not just like chucking a truck that just went to Home Depot and picked up the book on how to do roofing, right?
No, you got to watch Chuck in a truck. We fix a lot of Chuck's trucks.
So maybe we could start off. Can you tell our listeners, a little bit about things that they should be looking for in their roof, or, if they're having problems, obviously if they're seeing water come in their house, they know that there's an issue. What are some of the other things, with older roofs right now that they should be looking for, especially as the winter's, coming to an end, hopefully, but the snow's been on, the snow's been off. We've had ice and cold weather and the winds.
Yes. Some of the things, a lot of the times people think the algae strains are different. That's not damage. That's just nature's doing its course. One of the things with experience that I've seen is the chipping of shingles, where you'll see corners start coming off and curling up. What that shows you is a shingle has a degree of oil and moisture in it. And if you went up there, that's a telltale sign that those shingles are dried out. They're crackling, and that's when problems are going to start. That's when people start to lose shingles on their roof, and you'll see, 10 shingles replaced here and there, different colors. That's a telltale sign that you need to have your roof life checked out. The breathing of the shingles from the old paper, it's a totally different system. The moisture isn't there, so it dries them out, and that's when you want to, unfortunately, think about getting, a new roof.
So a lot of that aging on, I guess we're talking like asphalt or the fiberglass shingle roofs, is actually due in part not to just the regular weather, but probably because of the sun beating on them, and that's causing them to actually dry out over time?
Yes, it's the sun. It's hot, especially in our climate here, the hot and the cold. And if it's not breathing properly, then they're gonna dry out on top and underneath the quickest and meet in the middle. And that's the best explanation I can give. We'll do roofs where we have to take the pipe boots off, and when I can take shingles off around, and it's a 15-year-old roof, and take the shingles off because they still have enough moisture, put the new boot on, and then put those shingles back on, that roof has a nice life. I've done hundreds of jobs with the boots. We had to take the shingles off, and they cracked, and that's a roof that's within 3 to 5 years of needing replaced.
What about nail pops? I mean, I've always seen a bunch of roofs where you start to see nails start to pop through. What causes that, and is that a sign that the roof's done for, or?
No, that's a lot of different. That could be a lot of different things. The old word that they use, it could just be popping up from that. It also could be from when they used half-inch plywood, which 7/16 with half-inch and wind. They'll start to come up with wind catching under, and that'll pull the nail up a little bit. We see more of a nail situation on ridge vents, where only a inch or an inch and a half nail was used, as opposed to a 2-inch, 2.5 to hold those ridge vents down. That the nails popping up has to do with what board it's into underneath. The nice 7/16, it'll hold the nails. You probably won't be seeing that on those roofs, but the half-inch and the old lap board that they used to put the roofs down on, that's what'll be causing that now.
So, Sean, I want to go back to the boots. Those are the rubber things that go around the vents that come up through there. Now, do they sometimes age differently than your shingles? In other
Yeah.
words, do they tire out sometimes ahead of them or in a different time frame?
Yeah, they do because of the water flow, and they can catch water, and then water will be ponded on them and around their the rubber seals, and those seals can wear out. So I would have your boots checked every 5 years.
Oh, that's good to know.
Now,
Yeah.
on a lot of different roofs, I've noticed, the little granules that sit on top of the actual shingles themselves, and they all start to kind of fall off. And at the bottom of the roof or down below, you just start to see, debris of these shingles. Is that any indication of the age of the roof or any issues that we might be having?
That's the dry from the outside. When we talk about the roof and the oils of the shingle, they'll actually make a product now where you can expand the roof of your life 5 to 7 more years by putting this biodegradable, green-friendly material on to bring back the moisture in your shingles. So there's a lot of new technology, but those to protect the little rocks and the pebbles you're seeing. That's an outside drying of the shingles, and not necessarily inside. Wear down to pretty much the actual core of the shingle. But yeah, if you start seeing that, you have brittle shingles, and if you went out there and tried to take one off, they would probably break in half.
So they have a solution that you can put on to extend the life of a shingle?
Yes, they do. It's called Roof Max, and it will extend the roof. It will bring the roof, if it looks dry, as we just discussed, they spray this on, and a day or two later, it brings back the moisture of the original shingles. It's an amazing product. The company's out of Ohio. We apply it. It hasn't really caught on around here, but it will, because it's instead of spending $7,000-8,000 for a new roof, somebody can expand their roof life for $1,200 to $1,500, and this stuff is credible, and it does work.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I mean, that can be. I mean, and that's done in it.
Check it out. It's Roof Max, and we apply it in the website's Roof Max as well. But it's all with this technology of where shingles are drying, on the top or on the bottom. And today, when a roof is installed and you have your ice and water in your valleys and 24 inches around the perimeters, that's ice and water paper. That's almost like having another shingle underneath, and that's a must. And that'll definitely help with your warranty from today forward.
Sean, and what is that? What is that ice and storm paper that you're talking about, or whatever?
Yes, yeah, that goes in your valleys and 24 inches around the perimeter of your roof. So when the snow's sitting there and it gets through, it's really getting through to another layer. But on top of that, then throughout is a sheeting of synthetic paper, which the replacement of synthetic is the old. I like to call it old because I don't use it. It's the old tar paper, the black paper. That's
so you've actually there's a new product instead of the tar paper. So was that what they used to call like roofing felt or something?
Yes, roofing felt was black. Yep, the new is synthetic paper. Several different brands, and they're all pretty comparable, and they all are good. You pretty much can't poke it with a knife and break it. It's very strong.
Wow.
So yeah.
So you don't use the paper at all anymore?
No, we do not use
so
the paper.
not even up the roof. Now you say on the 24 inches of the perimeter, you say you add an additional layer on top of the new synthetic material.
Why did you say?
Yeah, well, no, the ice and water goes down on our plywood, and then on top of the ice and water is our synthetic paper.
Now
any valleys you put the ice and water in the valleys as well, so that they're covered, and then the synthetic paper then goes on top of that.
Is the synthetic paper a lot more expensive than the normal, felt paper or tar paper or whatever it was?
It's the tar paper is $10-15 a roll, and synthetics about $60. Peace of mind is 100% as opposed to 50-50.
Right. So really, when you're spending thousands of dollars to put a new roof on,
it's not a big difference because a roll will cover 10 square. So for 10 square roofing, you're looking at $40-50.
Wow. And you can't really puncture it with a knife or anything. I mean, it's
you really have to try. You can't. You and I could play tug of war, and it doesn't rip.
Really?
Oh yeah, synthetic papers. I see most of the guys, gladly using the synthetic paper. It's the best product, and you're doing the customer right. Some of the older guys still like to use the paper with the washers and the nails and hand nail, but with these products that are out today, the warranties will definitely stand up a lot better with your 25, 30-year warranties.
Wow, this is fascinating.
We are able to give a 15-year workmanship warranty because of these products.
Wow, that's fabulous.
You have any issues with your roof, 15-year workmanship warranty. When you put these products down and it's installed properly, there will be no issues.
All right, so we're going to have to pay the bills here. We found out a lot about what to look for as far as when to get it done. I think when we come back, we'd like to probably talk about some of the options that we have when putting some roofs on. So we're gonna burn some commercials. We'll be right back.
Absolutely.
The Real Estate Radio Guys with John Rainville and Kingsley Harmer. We'll be right back. Veterans, active duty military, and reservists. BrokersRealty.com thanks you for your service. And during February, if you list or buy a home with BrokersRealty.com, we will reward you with a getaway for two at settlement. As in a cruise, trip to Vegas, or even a whole week at a tropical resort-type getaway. Text REWARD to 79564. That's REWARD to 79564. Or Google BrokersRealty.com today.
Are you working with a mortgage company that offers pre-approvals or just pre-qualifications? Does your mortgage company reward police, firefighters, military, teachers, and nurses with better rates and fees? How would you like to apply and be updated on the status of your loan right from your phone? Introducing GSF Mortgage Corporation, where technology and relationships make the difference. Visit pagoloan.com to apply or call 717-200-4800 for more information. NMLS number 1018.
Buying or selling a home? For professional home inspection, call EnviroQuest of Harrisburg. Their certified home inspectors will conduct a thorough inspection and provide a detailed report with many pictures. They'll explain the findings. Do you have elevated radon levels in your house? Call EnviroQuest. They have fixed over 10,000 homes over the last 25 years. For a professional home inspection or radon mitigation, call EnviroQuest at 233-6144, 233-6144, or visit EnviroQuest online at evqharrisburg.com. That's evqharrisburg.com.
Back to the show, the Real Estate Radio Guys with John Rainville and Kingsley Harmer.
Well, we're back with Sean Barkowski from Central PA Roofers. Hey, Sean, a question that came up while we were at break there is, with that product that gets sprayed on the roof if it's dried out, that there's no warranty or anything that comes with that then, though, right?
Yes, there is. Depending on the situation, 7 years for a roof life extension.
Really?
Yes. I don't have I have the application, the applicator. The company's out of Ohio. You can look it up. It's Roof Max. You can see all about it. And if anybody's interested in putting that on, a lot of the times the guys that are buying houses, the roof is close and the roof's in good shape, and it doesn't have some of those. They're going to sell the house, they're flipping houses, they'll use that product as well.
Wow. I mean, I work with a lot of the real estate investors groups.
Oh, yeah.
And I guarantee you half of them don't know about this product. I mean, this can be huge.
Yeah.
It is huge. It's just, we just started this, we signed out, we're the exclusive dealer of the product in this market, but it's Roof Max. MAX, Roof Max, out of Ohio.
And like we were just talking about
case studies. They were in Texas and a couple other states for a couple tests once, and the case studies on roofs that got it done, the before and after pictures, and then I always like to see 6 months later and 12 months later. So that's why I didn't jump right into it, because I want to see some proof, and it's definitely worth looking into.
Well, we were just talking about the scenario of people buying a loan with an FHA mortgage, and a lot of times, the help me out here.
A lot of times the
inspector.
roof, just what Sean was talking about,
Right.
where they're saying it's close on its life.
Right. And a lot of times, it could kill an appraisal or a value and maybe, require the roof to be done. My question, I guess, is going to become, since this is so new, will this application, especially if done by, a licensed contractor, hold any weight, with FHA and the inspections with those? I mean, you
Yes,
say
it
there's been tests in Texas, right?
So, yeah, it does.
Yes, it will hold. And when I say spray it on and the roof's okay and there's no fixes needed, that's not it. Basically, obviously, when you spray it on, that's doing its job. If there were other issues coming down the valley or something on the siding with the J channel, as long as the roofer or the company that's installing that does all the other proper fixes, Roof Max stands behind the 5 to 7 year.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Sean,
Yeah, if you guys have any questions about that when we're off the shit, just,
we're going to talk more about that, buddy, for sure. But metal roofs, I mean, we're seeing a lot. I mean, it seems like every week I'm getting some advertisement at my house, about metal roofs. Can you talk with our listeners a little bit about metal roofs?
Sure. Metal, you have the standing seam. Standing seam is the 100-inch and 24 and 26 gauge. It's a stronger metal. Yeah. Then you have what you see a lot of around here is corrugated. Standing seam comes in 19-inch pieces and it's time-consuming. So it's a stronger metal if you go 24 and 26, but it's also labor-intensive in installing. Looks very, very nice when it's installed. The corrugated, you have 24, 26, and 28 gauge. 28 gauge is the economic. I would go with 26. If you're putting a metal roof on, the 28 gauge can tend to be a little flimsy. And if you've seen some corrugated roofs, that's with the 3 pieces. And that's a very popular product. But one thing I'd look out for there is to spend a little bit more and go with 26 gauge. And a lot of the companies give you lifetime on the paint, so it's a real nice situation with metal.
Well, now my question for the gauge, if you're talking about a standard residential home, does the gauge make that much of a difference as far as longevity?
No, not as longevity. It all depends on the roof. If you have a roof with a 30-foot run and she's that long, you want to go with a higher gauge because you could see over time. If you have a lot of snow on, you could see some denting. Or 26 gauge a whole lot, and supported properly with your 24-inch spacing. I've just installed both, and I like install 26 gauge if we can walk a little bit and not just have to worry about walking on our seams. I feel it's a little more value to the customer.
And as far as from your standard roof to, let's call it 26 gauge, cost comparison, I mean, is it that much more to go with the metal roof? Let's assume it's not 24-inch. I know the cost of material goes up at that point, but overall, is the cost similar? Is it a lot more? What are we talking?
The only thing in the metal and architectural shingles comparison is standing seam is about double.
Double?
As far as, yeah, standing seam is very labor intensive. It could be up to double, yes. And as far as corrugated goes now, with corrugated, the nice situation, if you have a nice roof underneath, a lot of times you don't do a tear off, you keep that on and you do a lath board and put the metal right on top and seal it in. So as far as a corrugated 26 gauge, it would be, at least from my company, it would be very comparable to an architectural shingle job.
So it really is the cost of material when you're going into like a 26 gauge metal roof.
Well, the bit standing seam is the difference is because you're using a 24 gauge and it's also labor intensive. You have 19-inch pieces as opposed to corrugated. We're putting down 3-foot pieces, so it covers more ground.
Now, as far as when you say 19-inch, you mean just the width of each panel, because when you do a roof,
19 inches, yes.
You actually get those panels cut per the actual length of the roof, right? So on the pitch, it's all one.
We come out and do a measurement of your house, and they would give us our length, and they're pre-cut, they're made, and then painted for your roof.
And how long, as far as, I don't want to say a warranty, but what's the typical lifespan of a metal roof? I mean, I'm seeing, get a forever roof, never have to worry about your roof again. How long are these good
for? If done properly, you're just going to have some nuts and bolts to replace. With the 26 gauge, it definitely could be, 50 years, but they're seeing 30 and 40-year warranties. And the big thing with the metal roofs is the fading of the paint, and now they're giving lifetime warranties of the paint.
Interesting. So I mean,
out there.
With the lifetime warranty of the paint, they just give you like a credit towards somebody going out and repainting them, or how does that work?
Yeah, it would be. They would have to come and repaint the roof. I have not, in the 8 years, I've not seen any fade. The ones we put on, they look as good as they want.
Sean, one of our listeners
with that yet.
One of our listeners on Facebook is asking, are there better colors of roofs, like if they're going with shingles, or even the metal that are better or going to last longer?
No, there aren't. It's really your preference to have, to match your siding, to match. So there's not. The darker obviously is going to attract and take in more sun. Other than that, a darker shingle is not going to age. It's still made the same way, and it's properly ventilated with the way it's installed. It'll last just as long as a lighter shingle.
So we've gone from 24, 26, and then obviously the corrugated, and we talk about the lifespan of your typical 26. You say you can get upwards of 50 years if done properly. What is the lifespan of a corrugated roof? Is that similar, just because it's thinner, or would you give it a little bit less of a lifespan?
No, I would get 26 gauge. You give that. You can give that up to 40 years, absolutely.
Okay, and how about the corrugated 28 gauge? I guess it is we'll call it the flimsier of the two.
Yeah, I would call that don't walk on it metal. It's still, it's a nice gauge, but if you're going to be up there having to clean leaves off, walking your roof, and you're not familiar with where your seams are and your lap board is, and you're walking on, you could put some dents in it, and that's just the nature of 28 gauge. That still installed properly is 30, 40 years. The biggest thing with metal is the paint warranty, and I haven't seen any paint get duller or look aged.
So from a buyer standpoint, we're looking and we're comparing the different roofs, and we've got your corrugated 28 gauge, and you say it's kind of comparable to a standard shingle roof as far as cost. And every time I keep hearing about shingled roofs, and I go back to this just because I keep hearing lifetime shingles, what's the real lifespan of a tar shingle roof?
25 to 30 years. I mean, just from, I would say, even if it's 30, if it's installed properly, you'll get an upwards of 30 years. Your 50-year shingles are heavier shingles. And so we've installed a few. I'm not a big advocate of 50-year shingles. I like that for new construction. Some of our boards on houses now, if they have half-inch plywood and try and put a heavier product on there, you have nail problems, as we talked about earlier in the show, later on down. I'm not a big fan of 50-year shingles on replacement roofs.
Another one of our listeners is asking, they have an existing roof on there. What do you think about them just re-shingling over top of that? Should they? Is it better to have it torn off?
Yeah, you don't re-shingle, even if it's 3-tab in 8 years. If it's a financial situation, then depending on how big the roof is, I've done one re-shingle, and it was for a friend over top of the worn 3-tab. It was kind of like putting it on plywood. Other than that, now, I would not reshingle. I would tear it off. It's you're playing with your leaks, and there's a lot of issues. I've seen a lot. I've fixed a lot of roofs where they reshingled.
From my understanding, if you're just throwing shingles on top of shingles, you're actually lowering the lifespan of that new roof, correct?
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You do not want to do that. Yes, you are. You will definitely, with nail holes, and if it's not properly really fitted in good, I highly recommend not to do that. You're protecting your house, your investment.
Now, we've had a few customers, come on and ask about a different type of shingle, and I actually find this very interesting because it's obviously just been coming out on the market recently. And John has recently told me that you actually install solar panels too. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now,
I'm excited for the new solar shingles. Have you seen those?
Perfect segue.
That's exactly what they wanted to know.
And they're Tesla shingles, correct?
That's what I'm going to be excited about solar. Right now, you have so many different reasons why. We're doing it for green. We're doing it to save on my electric bill. The government doesn't want to know what they want to do with tax credits. All the different kinds of changes. Companies like Solar City have done a great job introducing, our area into the solar market and familiarizing people with it. But once the solar shingles are available,
that's a product of Tesla, correct?
Yes. Yeah, and on my Facebook page, I have a couple articles from Tesla because I'm waiting for that. I'm still not comfortable, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, but when you're putting solar panels on the roof, you're going into the roof. And, I'd like to see track records of time-tested, products and things. And there's not enough time yet. A couple of years go by of, leaks going into the roof from, the brackets, the bracing. So I'm really excited about the shingles, and I think they'll be, within 2 years.
Now, these shingles, I've looked into it because I find it very fascinating myself. They're actually nice-looking shingles. In a lot of cases, they look nicer than your typical shingle roofs. And
yeah, they kind of have like a slate look, too.
Yeah.
They're really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen them do testing on them. They seem more durable than a standard roof. They're sitting... I saw videos where they're hammering it and throwing rocks on it. They actually seem very durable.
Very.
So...
Yeah, it's really encouraging, and they're doing a lot of work to try and get that into the market. They're doing their tests out the West Coast with those, and it'll be exciting to see. And I know once they get to their threshold of where they need to be, they'll start getting them out into the distributors, and I'm definitely going to get certified, and our guys will be certified in that.
I've seen reports out, and I'm sure you've already done some investigating. The cost of materials is actually not that much higher than, a good quality roof. Is that what you're seeing as well?
Absolutely.
So it really comes down to really what kind of labor is involved. I can't imagine having to hook up every single shingle, across the roof and then, wiring it and hooking it into a battery, the whole 9 yards. So obviously the cost difference is going to come in the labor portion. But if you're going to put on a quality shingle that appears like it's going to have a pretty good lifespan based on its durability, why not?
Might be a win-win.
Yeah, the upside of that is the longevity. If you're even at 3 years and you're heating your house and generating extra electricity for the other 27, 30 years, that's a win-win.
Yeah, I guess the question would be if you had a shingle go bad or how the grid works, for example. It's like I think back to Christmas lights. Back when you first started on them, if one light goes out, they all go out. But hopefully it doesn't work in that case here. But
the infrastructure rolling that product out is very important as well. Having distributors, strategically located all throughout the West Coast will be first, and then the East Coast. Just like solar just took a long time to get here. But I look at the solar panels that are on roofs today as the old big box phones, and now the technology is changing. I think solar is just going to go real fast with getting to the new phones right now. The old big bag phones are dad's fad, is what we have on the roofs now. I just see it's amazing. From what I've heard and what I've seen, it shows and the aggressive nature of the guys trying to get this together and their knowledge. So I'm excited for that.
So, Sean, one of our listeners is asking, do you think metal roofs are the way to go over like the shingle roofs? Which do you prefer?
Well, here's what we'll be at breakfast or past other guys I know in the roofing industry, and when roofers hate metal, that kind of tells you something about metal. Why would we hate it? We hate it because there's not going to be, if anybody went metal, there'd be a lot less work. So metal definitely is a good product. It's done right, installed right. Architectural shingles is, it's a different look, and you can't go wrong with either. But with shingles, you're going to be replacing them every 30 years. With metal, I would say, in my personal opinion, that, the jury's still out on that, because we really haven't had, you can see these old barn roofs that are 80-year-old metal, they're rusted, they don't leak inside. So
yeah, at that point, it just becomes aesthetics, I guess.
Yeah.
Just don't let it rust out. But
just don't let it rust out.
Wow. So it really does seem like you are on top of new products coming out. Obviously, you're a master of the products that are already in place. So, and we learned about the Roof Max product, which I think is exceptional. So for those people that are afraid to even call a roofer to say, hey, I know this is going to cost me a fortune, but I have an issue with my roof, let me just go throw a tarp and some tires on it for the time being. It might actually be affordable to, give you a call, because it seems like you can cover the gamut as far as services on roofing nowadays. So
yes, and I see Roof Max this spring and into summer being a highly used product in this market. Last year it was just too new, and there's enough support and there's enough case studies behind it now, and it definitely is a viable product.
So what's the best number to give you a call on to get a free estimate, a free quote, as far as maybe 2 or 3 different products?
Sure. 717-756-4304, and we're also on Facebook at Central PA Roofers.
And I see you here online at rooferscentralpa.com, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Rooferscentralpa.com is our website. That's out there for search. I'll be happy to give, if you just have questions, be happy to take and answer the questions. Nothing's not important. So if you have an issue or something stressing you out about your roof, we've been in there and probably seen it, so just give us a call.
Fantastic. We're going to get all of your information up on our Facebook page and on our websites. With your Facebook site, we already have your website up. And Sean, we really appreciate your time this morning, and we've learned a lot. Hey, I'm in the business 30 years, but you schooled me today.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, and you guys ever need anything, just give me a call.
All right, you have a fantastic day.
Have a great weekend.
Yep.
Enjoy the snow.
Yep, thank you, guys.
Thanks, Sean.
The Real Estate Radio Guys with John Rainville and Kingsley Harmer. We'll be right back. Veterans, active duty military, and reservists. BrokersRealty.com thanks you for your service. And during February, if you list or buy a home with BrokersRealty.com, we will reward you with a getaway for 2 at settlement. As in a cruise, trip to Vegas, or even a whole week at a tropical resort-type getaway. Text REWARD to 79564. That's REWARD to 79564. Or Google BrokersRealty.com today.
Buying or selling a home? For professional home inspection, call EnviroQuest of Harrisburg. Their certified home inspectors will conduct a thorough inspection and provide a detailed report with many pictures. They'll explain the findings. Do you have elevated radon levels in your house? Call EnviroQuest. They have fixed over 10,000 homes over the last 25 years. For a professional home inspection or radon mitigation, call EnviroQuest at 233-6144, 233-6144, or visit EnviroQuest online at evqharrisburg.com. That's evqharrisburg.com.
Everyone wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, if only they knew the best way to do it. Hi, I'm John Rainville.
And I'm Kingsley Harmer.
And we're the Real Estate Radio Guys. We bring over 40 years' experience to talk about all things real estate.
Weekly, we'll discuss the latest trends, hot topics, along with tips and techniques that could save you thousands and eliminate headaches.
So tune in to the Real Estate Radio Guys, Saturdays at 8 a.m. here on WHYL 102.9. Real topics, real answers for real people.
Are you working with a mortgage company that offers pre-approvals or just pre-qualifications? Does your mortgage company reward police, firefighters, military, teachers, and nurses with better rates and fees? How would you like to apply and be updated on the status of your loan right from your phone? Introducing GSF Mortgage Corporation, where technology and relationships make the difference. Visit pagoloan.com to apply or call 717-200-4800 for more information. NMLS number 1018.
Back to the show, the Real Estate Radio Guys with John Rainville and Kingsley Harmer.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that RoofMax stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that and that new type of paper. So we're
paper, the RoofMax, I mean, you could literally probably extend your life another 10 years beyond, just having it done right from the get-go. With the new synthetic paper and the ice shield, all the rest of that.
Wow.
I mean, that's crazy.
Well, good morning, John. How are you doing today?
Good morning. Doing great.
All right. So we have John Staz on from EnviroQuest Inspections. And, John, I don't know if you were listening, if you heard about that RoofMax product that Sean Barkowski from Central PA Roofers was talking about. Have you ever heard of that before?
I just heard the tail end, so I didn't get the product information, but it sounds really interesting when I did.
Yeah, I mean, can a 5-year transferable warranty that for a product that gets sprayed onto a tired roof.
Yeah, it sounds like interesting. If your roof's near the end of its life and maybe it's had some problems, but you just need a little bit of time to get the money before you can replace it. And sounds like interesting.
We were just looking online, reading about it. I mean, it's very interesting. It was a soy technology.
It's made out of soy products.
Soy.
Yeah, soybeans.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
So let's flip the house upside down a little bit, and let's talk about the other end.
Yeah, so as a home inspection company, we get a lot of people calling up and saying, asking us, do I need to get a structural engineer, or can you guys inspect the structure when we do a home inspection? So the answer to that, in an ideal world, when a house is designed by there's going to be a builder who implements the plan, and there's going to be an architect, and there should be a structural engineer that signs off on the plan before the house is built. So, like I said, in an ideal world, the house should be designed with an engineer looking at all the spans and structural supports, making sure everything's the proper size. So things that can go wrong during the construction, maybe the builder doesn't quite follow the plan that's set out by the structural engineer. We joke around. Sometimes the workers call the blueprint a cartoon, but so sometimes it doesn't get followed exactly. Something gets installed improperly. But during our home inspection, the type of things that we look for would be anything that's out of the ordinary or something that's changed, such as cracking or something shifting or moving. Those are the main signs of structural degradation that we can look for, along with looking to see if something looks like it wasn't installed properly. Then, in that case, the home inspector would call for further evaluation by an engineer or a structural engineer or somebody that can, number one, document the defect and also plan to repair. So those types of things would be
during a home inspector training, we were trained to evaluate cracks, the size of the crack, the type of the crack, the pattern that it makes, and to a little bit into what the causes are and what that crack implies. So we look at crack shifting. We look at structural components such as beams, columns, to look for signs of failure. Like, for example, one thing we see a lot are those steel, some people call them jack posts. So we look at those to see, is the top of it bending where it was bearing onto the beam is? Was it properly installed? Is it the right type of column? Is it starting to bend? So those are some of the types of things we look at during a home inspection and document, take pictures of, and put into our reports.
So, obviously the foundation of the home, the whole home rests on it. So, as you say, you could have one little tweak off on the bottom of the home, which could affect the structural integrity of, obviously, every floor above it. So when you see a crack, it could just be a crack, or it could be settling, it could be a structural issue. What about bowing? What have you seen as far as like walls that seem to be like they're collapsing in or bowing a little bit? What should we be watching out for?
Sure. We see that a lot, actually, especially with block foundation walls. Horizontal crack that's about halfway up the wall. A lot of times that indicates some sort of pressure, like hydraulic pressure, pushing it from the other side, causing the wall to bow. And then with those, it's never a good sign when you have a horizontal crack halfway up the wall and the wall's bowing. But it has to do with the degree of movement, stability. Sometimes you can get a little bit of bowing when the house is first built until, the grass takes root and everything's settled. But when you see that there's one of those cracks, as you spoke of, the horizontal crack, and you see that it's been repaired, and then it cracked back out, then it's been repaired again, that indicates movement, or that it's not stable, it's continuing to bow, and that's where you get some real problems. Also, the degree to which it's bowed, the distance between the belly of the bow and the top where it's secured and the bottom where it's secured, that gives you a good indication of how severe it is.
Belly bow.
I think I have
What's that again? Sorry.
You got the belly bow.
I have the belly bow.
Yeah, the belly bow.
So if I walk into a house then and I see, and I've seen this as a fix, obviously, for a lot of houses, those Kevlar strips that they, kind of put vertically down a wall? Yeah,
that's actually some interesting technology. It saves a lot of money, and it's a pretty good solution. If you go onto YouTube and type in Kevlar foundation strips, there's a video on there where they show in a laboratory setting, they put those Kevlar strips on a block wall, and actually the block will explode into little tiny pieces before that repair will give out.
Really?
Go onto YouTube and check it out. It's really cool.
So if I go into a house and I'm thinking about buying a house and I see these Kevlar strips, is that something I should be concerned about? Is that a fix or is that a Band-Aid?
That's actually, as far as, I'm not an engineer, but I consider it to be a fix, as long as it looks like it was done properly. There's several companies out there that are doing that now, but if you watch that video, you'll see that those Kevlar strips, when properly installed, will make the wall stronger than the wall was originally.
Really? Before it
had the belly.
So it wouldn't be necessarily an issue if installed properly. Okay.
Yeah. As long as the repair is done properly, and there's the companies that install those. There's manufacturer training. There's all sorts of training that they have to know when that's an acceptable fix. But if the product's used as it's supposed to be used, it's a very viable option as far as repairing that type of.
So here's the question. Then I'm sure you've seen at least a dozen or so foundations when you go out and do these inspections. So if you were to compile all the data in your brain and all the foundations you've looked at, is there a better foundation, a stronger foundation, better lasting foundation than any of the others?
They all have pluses and minuses. as far as cost and other side effects. But, one thing that's used around here that's pretty nice is Superior Wall Systems, or that's a product name, Superior Wall Systems. They're
what is that?
Well regarded.
Is that a poured concrete wall? Is that a block foundation? And what kind of foundation is that?
They call them ICF. It's an insulated concrete. So they're built in the factory, and then they come out and they put the walls together on site. Poured concrete, they're actually, that's a really good system. Every system has its pluses and minuses. Actually, the ICFs are, and Superior Walls, that's a really good system because in addition to giving you superior structural support, it gives you added insulation factor for, lowering heating, cooling costs.
So sounds like Superior Walls would be your preference if money was no object.
Yeah, Superior Walls is a brand name, but there's other ICFs. They're just called insulated concrete form ICF. That's a pretty cool product.
Awesome. So if we've got a homeowner that, this time of year, with the snow and the ice and everything melting, and it's the cooling and the heat, the expansion and contraction that can cause cracks in the foundation. So this time of year, it might be more evident that you've got an issue. If they want to have somebody come out and check it out, obviously you're the guy to call. What's the best number for you?
Sure. The best number is 717-233-6144.
And they can find you on Facebook as well, right?
On Facebook as well, yes.
At EBQ Harrisburg and ebqharrisburg.com, correct?
That's it.
Awesome. So, I would imagine this time of year people might have some leaks with the melting snow and ice in the ground, which is obviously going to be a sign that you're going to want to get checked out. So call John, get him out there, and find out if you've got a major issue or if it's something that you can repair.
Have a great weekend, John. Drive safe tonight.
All right. You do the same, guys. Have a great week. Talk to you next week. Thank you.
Well,
So
we're learning a lot today.
Yeah,
a lot of interesting things.
Yeah.
And I did put up on our current feed there, and I will put this up onto our regular Facebook, brokersrealty.com. We actually have a new system. So if somebody's thinking about selling their home or thinking about refinancing, and they're not quite sure what their property's worth in the current market, you can actually go to our site and get an instant estimate of your current property's value in the current market. Now, that's not going to be the same as if we came out and looked at it and we can do a comparative market analysis, but it is going to give you a fairly good ballpark of what you're looking at. And that's actually pulled from the local multi-list data, so it's a little bit different than the Big Z. It's going to give you a little bit of an idea. And then if you want us to, you can request, and we'd be happy to come out and tighten those numbers up with an actual on-site visit and try to do some more research on it for you. And that's free. That's no obligation.
And that's amazing because most of the people, you charge you, you got to come out and bug the hell out of me for an hour and a half just to tell me what my house is worth. And the problem is Zillow it's so generically inaccurate unless you've got 5 houses that have sold next to you.
Like in Levittown, where they're cookie cutter,
where they're exactly the same, or you're in a new build construction and they were all the same. It's hard to get that valuation. So,
but I think something,
great tool.
Kingsley, you also do no obligation pre-approvals, right?
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of people, think that there's a cost to come out and figure out or to talk to you about getting, see if they can get a mortgage or refinance or whatever.
No, that's our job. At the end of the day, I'm here to earn your business, and if I don't have a product that is worthy of your business, then so be it. But I'm confident in our products. I'm confident in our rates. We're very competitive in any market and pretty much for any product that's out there. So I don't want to have a commercial as far as all the products are available, but at the end of the day, if it's not something that fits, the typical guideline today, I will work to get you there. Everybody's got a path, and that's what some people don't realize. They're afraid to make the phone call because they know something is amiss. Maybe their credit's off a little bit, but that's my job. If there's something wrong, let's get it fixed. Let's give you a path. Let's give you a couple steps and say, hey, look, after this is done, we're there.
So just like a good realtor, a good loan officer is a problem solver, because that's really what we do, folks. We problem solve, whether you're looking to buy or sell a house, if you're looking to finance a house. We try to guide you just like a Sherpa and take you, to the top, all the way till you get the keys or get rid of the keys, whichever you're looking to do. But you have to start that conversation with one of us so that we can start to guide you. Right. Because the only wrong question is one that never gets asked. But we're here to, assist you. Our contact information is on our site all the time. I've posted up, while we were online here today, ways to get in touch with us, ways to get in touch with John Staz from EnviroQuest, ways to get in touch with Sean Barkowski from Central PA Roofers. So look, reach out to us. Use us as a resource. We're here to help you. We're, not just in it for the big bucks, right? Right, Kingsley?
Yeah, exactly. Well, at the end of the day, you don't know until you have that conversation. And you and I both would love somebody to just walk into our office and say, let me sign the papers, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
But, unfortunately or fortunately, everybody's situation is different, and everybody requires a little bit of work to get them where they need to be. And our job is to put them in the right scenario, not just, when you walk in, hey, you know what, I want to buy $1 million home, but I work at Burger King. Wouldn't be doing my job even if I could get you that loan, if we weren't, putting you in a best position to, own that home and not be, completely broke every month.
And rates are still great, right?
Rates are still great.
Rates are still great.
You can look at the market and everybody's going to be worrying, oh my gosh, the rates went up, the market crashed, this, that, the other thing. Everything is cyclical. Everything comes back around. But at the end of the day, everything's going to level out. It's still a very affordable market. There's still a lot of programs. I find it awesome that our company is constantly innovating new products to help the market with, in this particular case, new construction. Since the inventory is so low, build your own.
Right. And because the inventory is so low, my firm, brokersrealty.com, we've instituted a new program. You can reach out to us where we're offering to list your home for as little as 0%, from 0 to 3%. And I know a lot of you are going out there going, well, is that a game show or is that for real? Seriously, folks, we have a new program, a new way to do it. We'd love to be able to talk to you about how we can list your home for as low as 0%.
How does that work? Do you go out with a wheel and you spin it?
Scratch-offs, buddy, scratch-offs.
Well, it sounds interesting to me. I would definitely call and find out, at the very least, if you're looking to sell your home. I'd be calling. What's the best number to call?
Well, the best number to call me this weekend is 717-554-7430. You can always call me toll-free. Call us 888-774-8488. I'm extension 716. If I'm not in the office, that'll put you through to my cell phone. Kingsley, what's the best number to reach you this weekend?
Call me at 717-200-4800. Or if you prefer, if you've got an off schedule, you can always schedule a one-on-one consultation at kingsley.today.
So wait, what's that?
That's my website for scheduling, my time.
So they can just go right online and book an appointment with you?
Right on the kingsley.today, and they can pick the time that they have free, because they know my wife and I are going to be home at such and such a time. It'll go right into my calendar and alert me and say, hey, I need to call John and Jane at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon.
All right. Well, I guess till next week. It's, real people?
Real roofs?
We're going to get this sooner or later, you know what I mean?
Real
answers.
Real weather.
Yeah.
Till next week, guys.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Real Estate Radio Guys with John Rainville and Kingsley Harmer. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit pagoloan.com, brokersrealty.com, and facebook.com/Real Estate Radio Guy. If you enjoyed the episode, please rate and review, and we'll catch you next time on the Real Estate Radio Guys.
The greatest classic hits play on Oldies 102.9. WHYL Carlisle. WHYL. You're listening to the Morning Sunshine on Oldies 102.9 WHYL.
Some